Hi, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am Bekah Jo, aka the Makeup Tax Lady. Today I have a very fun and exciting video for you. I have off and on been joining in with Keep Beauty Real, Kelly, and Beauty in the Frizz, Kara, on their monthly BYOP series. I haven't been able to join in the last couple months, but one of the palettes a couple months ago was have someone else pick out a palette for you. I had my husband do that. I'll link that video down below. He apparently had a lot of fun making that palette for me, and he asked me the other day, do you need me to make another palette for you? And I was super excited to hear him ask for that. So I was like, yeah, of course, absolutely, you can make me another palette. So he has put together a BYOP for me, and I have no idea what's inside, but I'm very excited to check it out and to play with some eyeshadow today. After he put the palette together, I asked him if there was a theme of any kind, and he said the overall theme was kind of Halloween and that there's two separate themes within the palette. He said if I tell you any more than that, it's going to give it away. And then he also wrote down on a piece of paper for me something else related to the palette. So I don't know what's inside. I told him I needed 10 shades. So let's check it out. We'll go ahead. I'll show you the palette. I'll do some swatches, and then we can talk about the theming of the palette, put together a couple eyeshadow looks, and let's have some fun. Okay, so I'll show you before I show me. Let's reveal the palette. Let me know your first instinctive thought down in the comments. I'll be really curious to see what everyone thinks. Okay, let's have a look. Ooh, oh, that's so pretty. Look at him. Look at him. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. This is a gorgeous fall palette. So this half here, it's not half, these 6 shades are more just like fall inspired, I think. And then these 4 shades are specific to Halloween, maybe? I'm not real sure. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, let me see what his notes were here. Okay, so these beautiful fall shadows here, this little collection on this side, he said is referencing Scarecrow, the Batman villain, which I think is great. He's very much into Batman. I like DC, but I'm more into the Marvel side of things. But even at that, I pretty much know what the movies offer and not a whole lot beyond that. He knows the backstories and a lot more having to do with the comics. So this is Scarecrow theme. I love that. These 4, no wonder I didn't totally get it. So these 4 are actually for the 4 horsemen of Revelation, which is very interesting. We've been studying Revelation in our Sunday school group that he has been teaching, and these 4 shadows each represent one of the horsemen. He also said that these shades were for Beetlejuice too, which I think is really clever. Okay, so let's do some swatches and then we can create a look. Okay, so here's our first grouping of swatches. Starting here, which is our first swatch on this side, we have Sydney Grace Snow Queen. The red is Menagerie Pygmy. The dark black, Sydney Grace Songbird. And the last shade on the end there is Sydney Grace Sea Breeze, that yellowy green shade. Okay, here are our swatches for the second portion of the palette here. So starting with this shade in the pan, I tried to lay them out kind of the way that they are in the palette on the back of my hand. So this shade here is Backpacking. This is In It to Win It. Down here we have Relax. This is Petit Four, Lemon Cream, and The Dream. And I'm realizing now that there is only one shimmer shade in the palette. So it's a very matte heavy palette, which is totally fine by me. And this is a beautiful shimmer shade to have included with all of these colors. And I think I have a game plan for how I want to wear these on the lid. So I'm going to put these shades on this eye and these shades on this eye. I'm going to attempt on this eye to create just a liner look with these 3 shades, and then we'll use Snow Queen, the white shade, on the inner corner. So let's see how that goes. That shade definitely has some pretty pigment, but it's not very deep, so I don't know how well you'll see it on camera. But it looks very pretty. Okay, next I'm going in with Pygmy from Menagerie. This is the red shade. Cleaning off my brush, and I'm going to work to just kind of blend those shades together ever so slightly. Okay, now I'm going in with Songbird from Sydney Grace. All of the shades in here, if I didn't say it already, are Sydney Grace, except for the red shade is Menagerie Cosmetics. Now we attempt a wing. Bear with me. You know when every once in a while you like the way that your winged liner turns out? I'm pretty happy with that. I'm also glad that I don't have to repeat it on the other side to try to make it match. I'm gonna go back in one by one with each of those shades on a clean brush and just make sure everything is well blended. Now I'm going in with Snow Queen, that white shade, and I'm going to add that to the inner corner. That is a pigmented white shadow. Love it. Just blending out that white shade a little bit so it's not harsh on the edges. I will add some mascara once we've done the look on the other eye. So now let's get into the other eye. Okay, for this eye, I'm gonna start with the shade Petit Four and work that through my crease and transition area. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Relax and work that into the outer corner. Now I'm going to go in with this beautiful purple shade In It to Win It and work that also into the outer corner, deepening up just the end, the absolute corner over here. So we have a beautiful blend going on over here. If this looks patchy, it's because I'm not paying attention to it. I'm not worried about it. We're gonna put the shimmer over that. I'm gonna go into Petit Four again and build that up just a little bit right in through here in the crease, and then also add that to the inner kind of 3/4 of my lower lash line. Now I'm gonna go into this deeper brown shade here, which is Backpacking, and add that to the last little portion over here of my lower lash line. I'm taking a little flat liner brush here, and I'm gonna use that same shade Backpacking and get that real close up to the lash line, all on my lower lashes. Everything is blending very nicely. Now I want to use our shimmer shade, The Dream, and run that over the majority of my lid. So I used a brush with the Dream to just kind of clean up the shape of the shimmer shade. And I went back in a little bit with the deeper mattes just to get the blend that I was looking for on the outside here and make sure that it didn't get overtaken by the shimmer shade. It all has blended beautifully, no patchiness, nothing. Last but not least, here our shade Lemon Cream. I want to use that as my inner corner pop, and then I'll put just a little bit under my eyebrow as well. We have two very different eye looks on here, but I think they're both really fun. Let me go add some mascara, blush, lips, and I'll be right back. Okay, here are the finished looks with my Husband Picks My BYOP for this month. It's the end of October, so October, November, however we want to label it. I really like the way that both looks turned out. I think the colors that he picked all look really good together in this palette. I think he was thinking, specifically in the Beetlejuice theme, that a pukey green shade would fit the bucket. But I think he went with a little bit more of the pale shade because of the description of the Four Horsemen. So I pulled out the Four Horsemen reference here, and I want to just give you an idea where these came from. So this is in Revelation chapter 6. The first horse that we have here is the white horse. The second horse that we have is a fiery red horse, naturally. The third horse is a black horse. And the fourth one is a pale horse. So I think that's why we ended up with the pale green color. If you imagine a pukier green color here, maybe that's where we get Beetlejuice. Okay, so yeah, let me know what you think of these looks and of our Halloween themed Husband Picks My BYOP. I had a lot of fun with these today. Like I said, I really like the way that both looks turned out. I'm more into this like kind of graphic look lately, but I also don't tend to wear it outside of the house. So let me know, how do you tend to wear your eyeshadow? So thank you so much for joining me today on today's adventure, and I hope to see you around next time.